Okay. Well, that pretty much sucked. There is no other way to put it. Okay. Well, that was miserable. Miserable. I just want to test. I decided why not go live, just test it out, see how many people we could get in here, if any at all. If we don't get many for the first couple minutes, then I probably won't stick around for too long. But I wanted to try it. I've never gone live after a game before. Um, but yeah, just horrible. Uh, I mean, I really don't want to. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how bad I want to make a video tomorrow talking about this football game, and that's kind of what sparked me to also want to go live right now. Um, I mean, there's just so many things that we could talk about regarding this game. So many things that went wrong. I think we all can echo the same sentiments, right? JT, thank you for hopping in, bro. I appreciate you checking in. But yeah, this sucks. I think that pretty much explains it. There is nothing about that game that went very good. I mean, you could sit here and blame weather all you want. I really just don't make a vid tomorrow. I mean, I'm getting close to that point. I'm going to because it's just what I do. It's what I enjoy to do. But um, I'm just going to be echoing the same sentiments that everybody has been echoing currently. There's not really much else I can say that's going to enlighten people or change people's minds. I think, of course, we're going to see a lot of very out of hand, overreactionary reactions to what happened in tonight's game. But just for the sake of getting a video out and getting my opinions out there, I'll probably still make a video because I know it's late. People got to work in the morning, including myself, and I know they'll probably want to tune in and listen to that. So I'm going to still make one, but I wanted to hop in live because why not? I've never done a post game live reaction before. And this probably wasn't the best opportunity to do so because it's 11:40 at night on a Monday afternoon, Monday night. This probably wasn't the best opportunity. Will the Bills keep Sean McDermott? I mean, I think that's an absolute yes. I'm not going to sit here and call for a firing for Sean because I like Sean McDermott. I think he's a very good coach. He's instilled a culture here that we haven't had in a very long time. But at the end of the day, the accountability needs to be at the head of this franchise, and it does fall on Sean McDermott. It does fall on the coaching staff, and I believe it falls on the upper management. I mean, I've been echoing this sentiment for quite a few videos now. If you've been watching any of my content, you would know that I just don't think that the coaching staff has had their heads on straight this entire season. Yeah, Janice driving home from. Oh my God, dude, I feel horrible. I could not imagine going to this football game. I couldn't. I had the opportunity to hop in this football. I had the opportunity to go to this football game. And boy, oh boy, I've never been happier to not attend a Bills game. I have never been happier to not go to a Bills game. Why no Bills? Why no ball to Diggs on the last play? I'm trying to figure out why on the last play. Obviously the pressure came quick. I think on the last play we saw, he was going to Gabe Davis. I think he expected the safety that batted the ball down to travel with Beasley. I think that's why he didn't go to Beasley, but he was looking for Gabe in the back of the end zone, and unfortunately the safety stayed with it. But I think the bigger question, I think we can only start to blame who, the decision making, that led up to that point. I think it's very hard to pinpoint a loss on one singular play. I think, this game pretty much encompasses just encompasses the miscues that we've had all season when it comes to not being confident in situations we have to, when it comes to bad decision making by not only the offense but the coaching staff. Isaac Frost asked, I'm so used to StreamYard, I'm able to put the comments up on screen. I don't have StreamYard, I use it on the BIB channel, but either way, why didn't I go to the game? Multiple reasons. One being I knew it was going to be late. Um, I really wasn't, I enjoy going to Bills games. Don't get me wrong. I've already been to 2 this year, but I'm not huge on going to Bills games. I am very big on watching from home, from the comfort of my own couch. Being able to keep up with fantasy and, just enjoying the game with some food and not having to worry about weather or, getting out of there in a timely manner. I enjoy going to games, but it is a production. And when the Bills lose, especially in the fashion like they did tonight on Monday night, when people got to go to work in the morning, that's a commitment. Boy, I mean, I credit to everybody that went to that game and, stuck around for the entire thing. Good Lord. Intimidator TJ says, I will keep watching the Bills, but what a disappointing season. Losing to I mean, he said it pretty much perfectly. I think we'll all keep watching the Bills. We can revert. I think at this point in time, we could suddenly revert back to that 2008 to 2017, time span where we were in that massive drought. I mean, it was even longer than that, but we could just revert back to being that drought-like team. And I still think we would all still be watching the Bills. Do I have work tomorrow? I don't work till noon, so, it makes it easier to do this. And I guess kind of throws my excuse out the window of not having to not going to the game because of work, but still, nevertheless, I like to make a video before work, get that out to you guys. If I went to that game, I wouldn't be getting home till probably 1 a.m. I mean, who's to say when people are getting out of that game and actually getting home? And then by the time I wake up, I don't know how much energy I'll have, So I definitely just wanted to stick around at home and just watch the game at home. And hindsight 2020, that came to be the correct decision. But for those of you guys hopping in right now, I truly appreciate you spending your time to just hop in this live. I said it at the beginning. I did not even have any idea that I was going to do this, but I was like, hell, why not? Everybody is deciding, why not? Let's just, hop in a live, talk about the post game. I know some people are a little upset. Why not be upset together? That was the mindset I was thinking. What's my job? I am a service desk analyst, it's called. It's pretty much just receiving phone calls on a service desk. Somebody has an IT problem, they call my service desk, and I will be one of the people to answer the phone call. That is pretty much my job in a nutshell. JT Miller, I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots just as much as you do, JT. I almost wish that Mac Jones came out in this game and defied all the odds and threw for 250 yards, rushed for 25, and made himself look like the next coming of Tom Brady, than for him to come out and not throw more than 3 passes and beat us that way. I honestly would have rather seen Mac Jones come out there and just look like the next coming of the GOAT of Tom Brady and beat us that way. But instead, the dude does nothing. Bill Belichick beats us in a game where he's literally toying with us. Oh my God. I mean, there's just so many things that can be said about this game. In my video, I'll have more compromised thoughts, but right now, I mean, it's just so much going through my head. Mark my words, the Bills will win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. JT, on that note, this year I had high expectations for the Bills. I wasn't sure if I was, Super Bowl expectations. I think I was at Super Bowl expectations only because that's where the public had the Bills expectations set at. But, I don't know. I could tell just based on how things went last year, and just because of the holes and the issues we had last year, and we didn't really address those throughout the offseason, and I felt like that might come to bite us this year. And, truth be told, that's exactly what's happening now. And, not to say I didn't have high expectations for this football team. I certainly didn't think this would be how the season's going, but I can't say I'm shocked to realize that the issues we're having are issues that we had last year. The lack of run game. Not being able to stop the run. Not to mention, all of a sudden our pass protection has collapsed. I don't know where in God's name our pass protection went from last year to this year. TJ says, next year, let's get a big bruiser back. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette. I'm one to believe that I don't think the running backs are necessarily the issue, but they certainly aren't helping. Of course, none of our guys are anything next to Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, or Leonard Fournette. But at the end of the day, we do need somebody to make a change. And whether it's in the backfield, whether it's on the offensive line, whether it's on the defensive line, we need change. We can't just expect this idea of continuity and development to just carry us through. And I think that's exactly what we were relying on. And like we were just mentioning, it just is what is biting us in the ass right now. A lot of good teams lose games they should win. Absolutely. I think this game is probably, I think out of our 5 losses now, I can't believe we actually have 5 losses on our record. It goes, the worst game I think was actually, this is the worst loss. This is absolutely the worst loss. So it goes, this game is the worst loss the Bills have had this year, easily. Second to worst game was definitely the Colts game. So Patriots Colts loss, and then the Jags loss. You know, that line that JT said, a lot of teams lose games they should win. You know, that excuse only carries so far. I think we use that excuse against the Jags. So that's where this third loss comes in. The fourth loss, Titans, I think. I mean, I can't even remember who the 5 losses are to. Who did we even lose to at this point? I mean, we already have 5 losses this year. That's just, I never would have seen that coming. I had us at 14-3. 14-3. I thought that was more than manageable. Boy, who are our 5 losses? Somebody help me out here. Titans, Jags, Colts, Patriots, Steelers. Thank you, Brandon. Yes, annoying game. Annoying game doesn't even encompass how everybody feels right now. But yes, Steelers week 1. I don't know how I forgot that. So yeah, Patriots. This game is absolutely the worst loss. Second worst, Colts. Third, Jags. Fourth, Steelers. Fifth, Titans. I think the Titans, Jags, Steelers games all have excuses. These last 2 losses, there's just no excuse. I had JT says he had the Patriots at 9-8. I think I had the Patriots roughly around there. Raul, man, dude. Oh, Raul, I'm gonna kill you. Good game, bro. I mean, it wasn't a good game, but you know, congratulations, I guess. I'm happy for you. I mean, I'm not happy for the Patriots, but I'm happy for you, Raul. Understandably, you're a Patriots fan, but you know, good game. I don't know how I got a Patriots fan to subscribe to my channel, but Raul's always showing support. I appreciate a lot. I appreciate it a lot, Raul. So thank you very much for stopping in right now, of course, too. But my God, I had the Bills at 15-2. JT says I had them at 14-3. I was not accounting for losses that shouldn't have happened. I came into this year expecting no Jags type losses. I was coming into this year expecting the Patriots to be lackluster. I was also expecting the Steelers to be a lot more lacking than they are this year, but they've shown a little bit of life. What a weird year. Can we talk about that for a second? What a weird year it's been so far, right? I mean, the Steelers just go out and beat the Ravens after getting smoked by the Bengals, and the Bengals come out this week and nearly get smoked by the Chargers when they came back into the game, but still ended up losing. This game is weird. This year is weird, and I mean, I don't want to use that as an excuse for what's happening with the Bills, but at the end of the day, like it really is just so ass backwards. Currently, the Buffalo Bills sit at 7-5 when they're supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC. The Cleveland Browns were supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC. I mean, thank God we're not Browns fans. I mean, if we're being honest here, it sucks. You know, after a loss like this, it certainly sucks. But I think at this point in time, I've tempered my expectations to the point where I'm not expecting that much now. I'm not expecting what I was expecting heading into the season. So I could sit here and evaluate how I feel about the other teams around us. And with that being said, thank God we're not Browns fans. Any of us. I mean, if we were Browns fans right now, I think we could really be feeling bad about ourselves. A team that just barely lost to the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round last year. Looks like everything was going well for them. Baker was finally getting hot. And then all of a sudden, this year, Baker Mayfield can't get his head on straight. The offensive lines have been struggling with injuries. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt can't stay healthy. That defense isn't what they were supposed to be. the Boston Sports Report. I'm not sure what your real name is, bro, but I appreciate you sticking around here too. He also is a recent subscriber of mine. I don't know how I got Patriots fans over this channel, but I appreciate you guys supporting no matter what fan base you are a part of. Oh man, but where was I? 10 viewers in here, guys. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, the Browns are let's talk about disappointment real quick. Browns are disappointment. I think it's safe to say the Bills are becoming a disappointment at this point. The Chiefs are on an uphill trend, and you know I think the Chiefs, they're not a disappointment, but they've certainly started to turn things around. They started off bad. The Titans are a humongous disappointment. We could be the Titans right now. I mean, they signed Julio Jones, who we all expected to not stay healthy, and that's exactly what's happened. Derrick Henry goes down with an injury. A.J. Brown can't stay healthy. I can understand that that's not necessarily something in their control, but it's certainly tough for the Titans. They've been a disappointment. Raul says you're epic. That's why I appreciate that, Raul. Thank you. The AFC is wide open. That's for sure. The Redskins are the best team in the NFL. Okay, JT. The AFC is wide open is an understatement. I mean, the Ravens have been escaping by the skin of their teeth through the first 8 weeks. Now we're sitting here at post week 13, correct? Right? And now that's really not starting to work for them. The Ravens were barely winning games at the beginning of the year, but they were still getting away. But now we are sitting at, like I said, post week 13, the Ravens are finding themselves in situations that they usually find themselves in earlier on in the season, except they're not getting away with it this year. That's what's happening with the Ravens up to this point. The Browns, like I said, disappointment. The Steelers, I think we all could have expected were not going to be very good, right? Who else is in the AFC North? The Ravens, Browns, Steelers, and good Lord, I'm drawing another freaking blank. Ravens, Browns, Steelers. Somebody help me out again. Good Lord, my brain is not working. Bengals, thank you, Raul. And Bengals. I mean, they're a pleasant surprise, depending on who you're a fan of, right? But I still don't think they are Super Bowl contenders. The Bengals are pretenders. Chargers pretenders. Bills pretenders. Titans pretenders. Who else? Ravens pretenders. The list goes on, right? How many pretenders are there, right? The AFC is wide open. But as a Bills fan, it doesn't make you feel good that this is how the season is going. Cincinnati is solid, but I'm just not sold on them because they're just such a young team. Jamar Chase is just a rookie. Joe Burrow is just in his second season. I'm just not sold on them because they're just so young, but I think they will be a very good team in the future. Same thing with the Chargers. I thought this might be the year they might get a little farther, but I don't know what's up with them. Julio Jones is washed. I hate to admit, I don't think his talent's washed. I think his bones are just brittle. His muscles are just made of absolute paper thin sandpaper. Wayne, nice to see Wayne up in here. Dable needs to be fired. His game plan. This is my thought process with Brian Dable, right? So 2019, we make the playoffs for the second time since the drought. Of course, the first time with Josh Allen, right? And that year, I hated Brian Dable. That was the year we had Frank Gore, and I believe Patrick DeMarco, and I want to say Mike Tolbert was on that roster, if I'm not mistaken. But irregardless, that was the year Brian Dable decided we're going to run the ball with these guys on the outside, up the middle, when we just had no capability of running the ball to a decent capacity on a consistent basis. And I wanted to absolutely wring Brian Dable's neck in 2019, every single game. I was sitting there saying, at least once a drive, I want to kill this man because he does not know how to play call. He just has no idea. 2019, I hated Brian Dable. I wanted him fired as soon as possible. 2020, I start to have a complete 180 about my opinions on Brian Dable simply because of Josh Allen. And I attributed a lot of Josh Allen's success to Brian Dable. Was I wrong to do that? It's starting to kind of look like that, but I'm not quite at that point. But Brian Dable, in 2020 definitely put everybody on notice and made it seem like he actually was this confident, creative, smart play caller that knew how to put guys in the best situations to be successful, how to get Josh in areas where he could get the most out of his pass catchers. And Brian Dable really showed a lot, and his creativity really blossomed in 2020. But then, of course, he somehow didn't get hired after 2020. I thought for sure the guy was going to get hired. But then after the Chargers did not hire Brian Dable, I was like, this guy is not going to get hired. I'm like, okay, that's a good thing, right? We want to keep our coaching staff here. They were solid last year. Why would we want to get rid of them? And then here comes 2021. And not only does Brian Dable completely shit the bed on a consistent basis, Sean McDermott also has. I'm not sure how much you can blame Leslie Frazier for what happened in at least today's game. But, how many times did the Patriots throw the ball? Did they throw the ball 3 times? I think it was 3 passes. You can only blame the players so much before you start looking at the coaching staff. And I think that's the evaluation that needs to happen here. The Cardinals are doing way better than I thought they would. That's for sure. I had the Cardinals at 9-8 as well. JT has them at 9-7-1. I think I had them at 9-8. I had them and the 49ers neck and neck. Rams are kind of tanking. I wouldn't say they're tanking, but they're certainly, like Raul said, they're certainly going through a rough patch. Sane Millennial. Even though the Colts record doesn't show we are contenders due to no, the Colts are absolutely AFC contenders currently. Somebody said it earlier. The AFC is wide open, and it's for the taking for the Colts as it is for the Bills, as it is for the Ravens, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's open to anybody right now. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts have shown why they are to be feared. I have preached, I most of the Colts fans that I've found this channel back in 2020 when I made a video like, I don't know. It was just halfway through the 2020 season. I made a video talking about how I felt like the Colts were underrated. And ever since then, I've had Colts fans on this channel. And I appreciate you all, just like I appreciate everybody in this chat and everybody that subscribed. I'm going to say it 400 times this live alone. But, the Colts are a good team because they play the kind of football that is pretty much not flawless, but I don't know how to put it. The floor of failure for the Indianapolis Colts is kind of high. Their ceiling is not high itself. Like their offensive ceiling is not high, but their floor is also not low because of the kind of football they play, right? I mean, Jonathan Taylor and that abusive run game with that fantastic offensive line, you will always be able to be in a football game if you have a solid, consistent run game. And that's just the fact. It doesn't matter what year it is, how dominant the passing game is here in 2020. It doesn't matter anymore. If you have a run game that is solid and consistent, you will always be in a good spot in a football game. I mean, as long as you don't find yourself down 2 scores, or down 2 or 3 scores, like halfway through the third quarter, your run game can always get you somewhere. And that was seen against us and with the Colts game. That was seen right now with the Patriots. The Colts literally could not get anything going with the run game against the Buccaneers just 2 weeks ago. And then in like the third to fourth quarter, they finally start giving the ball back to Jonathan Taylor against that extremely stout Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive front. And all of a sudden, Jonathan Taylor gets going again because that offensive line, that run game will always be effective no matter what is going on in the game. It could be not working for 3 straight quarters, but then halfway through the fourth quarter, just like in that Bucs game, it all of a sudden just started to turn on. And that's when they started to get back into the game. Unfortunately, they didn't come out with a victory, but nevertheless, you have a very, very high floor with a solid run game. And when your pass game is not working, you don't have a good run game, your floor is high, or your floor is low, but your ceiling is extremely high. That's exactly what we're seeing with the Bills, right? What else do we got here? I've been rambling a lot. 2 for 3 for 19 yards. Yeah, just absolutely amazing. Raul had the Cardinals at 10-7, a little bit better than I had them. How did the Rams lose to the Titans? How did the Rams lose to half the teams they've lost to? The Colts are a very solid team. They just need wide receiver help and some pass rush help. I agree. They definitely could use some pass rush help. I thought for sure the Colts were going to go out and, go for a wide receiver, whether it was in free agency or, a trade at some point, but they didn't. They stuck with their guns, and I'd say it's working out for them. I think Michael Pittman would like some help. That team could really use a solid pass-catching tight end. I think that's what that team needs the most, honest to God. Like, I mean, if the Colts had like I don't even know, just for a hypothetical example, a Dallas Goedert, per se, a prime Zach Ertz. I mean, if the Colts had somebody like that, they would be a beyond dominant offense if they had a very good pass-catching / blocking tight end. Well, Buffalo needs to spam call Indy for Marlon Mack. Buffalo needs to spam call the 1-800 we suck at football helpline. That's who the Bills need to spam call. Wayne, I don't understand why Josh Allen didn't try to throw or run to try to get a first down in the fourth when he was in the red zone. I mean, they still had timeouts left. On that point, Wayne, I don't understand why. This is something I'm going to preach in my video when I make it tomorrow. Why it seems like every week we seem to go through this process of watching Brian Daboll call quarterback power, quarterback draw, quarterback sweep, just these ridiculous time and time again, seeing Josh Allen take the snap out of shotgun and just book it. That seems to be a staple in this offense every other week. But this week, when we actually could have used it the most, I think we saw one designed quarterback draw. One. Why? In a game where our run game needed to be there for us when the wind was picking up and our passing game was going to struggle like it did, even though our passing game was more effective than our run game. I mean, why? Where are the designed quarterback runs, Brian? I mean, this just goes back in the point. I would be yelling so loud right now if it wasn't so late. Where are the designed quarterback runs right now, Brian? I mean, time and time again, week after week, we see Brian Dable call plays that have Josh Allen run the ball. This week, when we needed to run the ball with our most effective ball carrier in Josh Allen, he just completely strays away from it. Once again, just Brian Dable has been suspect all year. Sean McDermott, suspect all year. Leslie Frazier, I think they all deserve to be on, not a hot seat, but definitely deserve to be in the interrogation room. I think that's very fair. Same Millennial said we lost Paris Campbell third game. Yeah, he was supposed to be the next man up for them, and I forgot he went down. I forgot Paris Campbell was a guy. Like, to be quite honest, I forgot he was even a person. Raul said Pay is getting there, but right now Buckner's their only pass rush. Yeah, that's for sure. I had Kwity Paye taking home Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like, as crazy as that might sound, I did. I thought he was going to have a big year lining up next to DeForest Buckner. I mean, you're not going to draw much double teams if you're playing next to DeForest Buckner. I really like Kwity Paye coming out of Michigan. I thought he was going to have a big year. And not that he's not had a good year. I think he's been held down by injury, if I'm not mistaken, if Shane can update me with that. But yeah, Kwity Paye, I think, is going to be a solid pass rusher for years to come. JT, I wanted to get Zach Ertz a while ago. I wish the Bills got Zach Ertz. I'm still going to stand on that hill. Dawson Knox had a couple drops today that he probably shouldn't have dropped. That one in the end zone at the end of the game, I'm not going to blame him for. I mean, the guy was draped all over his back. Tough catch, but there were some other plays earlier in the game that he could have been played. Paris Campbell has been very injury prone. Was he taken in 2019, Paris Campbell? If I'm not mistaken. Chris Johnson, let's go. What's up, Chris? DJ, what's up, fellas? Welcome to the live stream here at 12 a.m. on December 7th. Never thought I'd be live streaming into the next day after a Bills game. We will try, DJ, we will try to beat the Pats for y'all. Unless we beat them in New England. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. I wish it would help us, but I'm not sure how much that will help us, unfortunately, DJ. But I hope you guys beat them for your sake, because screw them. Mott's Apple Dome coming soon. JT, man, I need them to acknowledge me on Twitter first, just one time. Oh, I forgot to. I've been DMing them on Twitter each day, and I think I forgot to do it today. Actually, I forgot to do it the last 2 days, so I've definitely been dropping the ball. That's okay. I find it rare that the caveman streams. Yeah, it is very rare. I want to start doing it more often. I figured this was a good opportunity to do it because, everybody's kind of riled up after the game. It is very late. I probably won't have this drag on too much longer, but I wanted to hop on to see and test the waters out. I wanted to definitely see how things would be, and I'm glad I did it. I have a lot of people jumping in, saying hello, giving their opinions, their thoughts, and I've said it already, but I appreciate all you guys hopping in. Michael Pittman Sr. Yo, it's good, Mike. Michael Pittman. What's up, fella Mike? I appreciate you hopping in, brother. But this was a sad game for all Bills fans. Yeah. Sad. Sad. I think frustrating and disappointing, I think, encompasses how all Bills fans feel right now. Just because you expect so much from them going into the season. You expect us to be able to beat the Patriots on our home field. Bill Belichick, the whole thing, the whole narrative. You'd expect it, and seeing us lose the way we did. I mean, I said it earlier in the stream for those. I'm not sure if some of you were there when I said it. I would have rather Mac Jones come out and thrown 24 for 26, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns and just completely shock the world and torch our defense than have Mac Jones come out and throw 3 passes and the Patriots win by running the ball 38 times down our throat and we can't stop it. It's like, at what point do you guys just sell out and just, I don't know. I'm no expert, but I just can't understand. I just can't understand this. No idea. What else do we got here? I want to see if we can. I want to get your guys' comments in as much as I can. I would like to see the Bills beat New England on their turf and say you guys. Wayne, that's the only thing keeping hope with me with the Bills right now is the fact that we still play the Patriots one last time. An upset victory against Tampa Bay next week, as unlikely as it may sound at this point in time, could turn the ship in the right direction, per se. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen. But in the case it does, we beat the Bucs, and then we once again travel to New England a couple weeks later then we have a game against them on their own home field. Then that gives us another opportunity to turn our season around. Our season's not over, everybody. We got to keep that in mind. Our season is not over. And for those Indianapolis Colts fans that are also in the chat, 6-5 right now, right? If I'm not mistaken, 7-6, 6-5. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's late. Colts are they're in the thick of things too. Their record is not the prettiest, but they still have a solid opportunity. And that's kind of where the Bills are at right now. Even though the Bills are, the Bills stock is not, it's kind of trending downward. The Colts stock is trending upward, but they're in similar situations. 7-6. Thank you, DJ. Sane said the last drive was frustrating, false start, and then they could have gotten short yards on third down to give them a better chance. Yeah, Sane. My take on that, the false start was bad. The third down was frustrating because the play design seemed like it was to get Diggs open over the middle of the field, and it worked. It's just unfortunate that we have no pass protection on a consistent basis. When teams know we have to pass, when teams absolutely know we are going to pass the ball, they're going to gun for us. They're going to send the pressure. They're going to send the heat. And our pass protection just utterly collapses faster than a house of cards. And Josh Allen was not able to have his eyes downfield when Diggs got open on the design play. So that play specifically, I'm not going to put on the play callers. I'm going to put that on the pass protection, which is something that I've been saying all freaking year, as we've all been saying. Brandon said, in the 90s when the Bills made their Super Bowl, how old were you? I wasn't even a thought in my parents' mind. I don't think. I was 0 years. I was negative. Well, I mean, I guess depends on what year you're talking about, but I was like negative X years of age. I was not even an organism in the universe yet. I am 21 years of age to give a simple answer. DJ said, Pat's come and say, we're okay. We're going to dominate the division. Pat's fan. Yeah. I mean, that's the other annoying thing. Now the Patriots think they're the biggest, most bad things ever to touch the planet. Like, God, I hate the Patriots. I like Raul. I like Boston Sports Report. You guys are awesome. But man, oh man, I don't know if they're still in here, but the Patriots just drive me bat shit crazy, man. Oh, the Patriots. I'm going to have nightmares. Pats just threw 3 passes. How'd they not stop the run? Richard Finnegan, I can't answer that. I can't. I mean, I think you could have put it, you could have put out there like 11 mindless like Division III football players, and they would have had a better idea on how to stop the run. Like, I mean, that's just such an overreaction, but like, at what point do you just like get sick of this shit and just commit completely to the run? They never once said we're going to drop back to pass, ever. They ran one action play in the first drive. I don't know, man. I don't know. Wayne said it's the play callers. I agree. I think a lot of what's going on this season as a whole, from week 1 all the way to now, which is week 13, there is fault to be put on Brandon Beane. There is fault to be put on Sean McDermott. There is fault to be put on Leslie Frazier and Brian Dable. And then, of course, there's plenty of blame to be spread about on the roster and the players who are trying to execute what's been in place for them. But at the end of the day, I am putting 100%, not 100. I'm putting about 80% of blame on coaching staff and management. That's where all this blame goes, in my personal opinion. Chris says, what's your favorite basketball and baseball team? I'm not a big baseball fan. I've become a bigger basketball fan over the couple of years. Unfortunately, we don't have a professional team, either professional team here in Buffalo. But a basketball team, I would say probably the Raptors. I like the Raptors. I'm not a humongous fan. I just, I say the Raptors because I'm a big fan of Drake. Drake is from Toronto, so that's my connection there. And of course, they're probably the closest team we have to us. My favorite baseball team. Now, like I said, never been a huge baseball fan, but obviously there's the big Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees rivalry. Like I said, never paid too much attention. But I've always taken the Boston Red Sox only because I hate teams that win constantly. And the New York Yankees, they have all the championships and whatever. Like I said, I know nothing about baseball, like next to nothing. They have Aaron Judge. I mean, I know probably that much. But I guess the Red Sox, Chris. I mean, I don't have a straight answer for that. Golden Sparrow, what's up, bro? I'm happy to see you in here. I was mad. I was also mad. They got their defense back. I'm assuming, DJ, I'm not sure if you're talking about the Colts or the Patriots, but that narrative applies to, I would say, both. I think the Colts defense has played, I don't know. I guess that depends. I guess that depends. I'll retract that statement for the moment. Brandon, are your parents Bills fans? My mom's not the biggest football fan. She really doesn't. I mean, she watches the Bills because everybody else does, but she really doesn't give a shit either way. But my dad, absolutely, my dad is the biggest Bills fan. But Bills defense is still better. Bills defense it's mid. I mean, it's mid. Unfortunately, mid. Colin Smith, what's up, man? I appreciate you hopping in, man. I hope you're doing well. Um, Antonio Capone, we wanted, dude. Antonio, I don't know how you found your way in here, bro. I'm kidding, bro. I'm glad you decided to hop in. You are not a familiar face in here, but I'm happy to see you in. I hope you have a good night, bro. I can't be mad at Patriots fan for being happy for the football team. I can't be. How can I be mad at a fan base for being excited about a win like that? How can I not? How could I be mad at them for that? So Antonio, congratulations, bro. You embarrassed us on prime time on our own home field with your rookie quarterback who threw 3 passes. Another Pats fan in here. Pats fan, well fought game on both sides. The ball, good luck, and good luck with Tampa Bay. I appreciate that. What's your name? Neville. Okay, that's a long name. I'm gonna call you L-O. I don't know. That's a long name. I don't have a short name, but we'll call you Goddard fan. I think that's right. Goddard fan, I appreciate you stopping in, bro. I'm not sure if you're still sticking around, but thank you for jumping in. I appreciate you hopping in. It was a good game. Well, it was entertaining. It was a sucky game. It definitely was not too exciting, but I thought it was entertaining. Like, I mean, the turnovers, the crazy runs, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a good game. I think that's coming from a Bills fan. That's not too shocking to hear, but either way, I appreciate both of you, Antonio and Goddard fan, for jumping in. If you're still here, I appreciate you jumping in and spending your time with a Bills fan crying on a live stream that his team just got embarrassed. Anyway, Colin, I haven't watched football in like 4 or 5 years. What? How'd you end up here, Colin? Honestly, genuine question. I'm happy you're here. I'm glad you're how'd you find my channel? Was it through hockey? I think it was through hockey. I think I remember seeing one of your first comments on one of my hockey videos. I could be wrong because I do talk about hockey on my channel occasionally, but I think that's might have been where I first saw one of your comments, Colin, if I'm not mistaken. Wayne said, "Caveman, not sure if you agree or not. It's not only the play callers, but it's also the refs." There were some calls that I thought the refs missed tonight. Some bad calls that they made, but I also think they gave us a couple makeup calls. I pushed on Josh Allen where they called personal foul. I thought that was a kind of a petty call that went in our favor, which I was happy about. But there were a couple calls that I felt like the refs could have made. Josh Allen, just like guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, other mobile quarterbacks that I can't think of right now because I'm just going to draw a massive blank. They don't get the same treatment like the Aaron Rodgers or the Tom Brady's or the Big Bens. Like if they get slammed. If a young, athletic, fast quarterback like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson gets thrown to the ground, or they get the body weight of the pass rusher thrown on their chest, like another quarterback would, they won't get the penalty called because they're just supposed to be able to handle it. That's just the mind process. And there were a couple times where Josh got sat down, and for example, where Matthew Judon kind of threw his body weight into Josh Allen. Now, if you're asking me from a common sense standpoint, I don't think that's a penalty. But by the law of the rule book of what the NFL says, letting the body weight fall on the quarterback is technically a penalty. And I feel like that wasn't called in opportunities where it could have been tonight. But nevertheless, I think those are things, like the weather, the referees, I think those are things out of our control that I think, we can blame. But at the end of the day, our holes, our miscues, our malfunctions, our issues are internal. There's stuff that we should be able to control. There's stuff that we could have changed. That's all under our umbrella of control, and we've just neglected them. We've refused. And at the end of the day, I think we can only blame ourselves. We can't look at the weather. We can't look at the refs. We can only blame ourselves. Oh yeah, man, that sucks. JT, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh yeah, man, it sucks. Sorry about that. I don't remember what. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Either way, Colin says, "Yeah, I found your channel on a hockey video, but I kind of like the Bills because Bills Mafia is the best." Well, I'm glad you think Bills Mafia is the best. I like to think we are. I think we're on a good day. It's very fun to be a part of Bills Mafia, but on a day like this, yeah, the crying, the the social media outcry is definitely frustrating to read. I really like our fan base, but just like any fan base, social media can get a little bit out of hand, to say the least, to put it kindly. Sane Millennial says if Stephon Diggs was 6'4", he would be one of the best ever. If Stephon Diggs, that's facts. Like, if Stephon Diggs was 6'4", he'd be unbelievable. Stephon Diggs almost made a stupid catch on the deep ball from Josh Allen. Wow. I mean, that ball was as good. It was as good as it was going to get. I think it was like later in the second quarter, maybe earlier in the third quarter. Josh threw that deep ball to Steph, and I just dropped my phone. And Steph was like looking over his shoulder. He couldn't tell where it was going because the wind was taking it. And Steph turned his head. It came to his outside shoulder, and it like hit Diggs like in the upper arm. It really looked like Steph could not track it properly. But it was, like I said, the ball was as good. It was as good as it was going to get. Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, if the wind isn't, kind of blowing that ball back and forth, I'm sure Diggs comes down with that. That's definitely a ball that Diggs catches 9 times out of 10. But can't pinpoint one play. It is what it is. I was a big Rams fan for a while. Okay, but then they moved to LA. So obviously you're from St. Louis because you have a Cardinals profile picture. So that makes sense. Were you how upset were you when the Rams left, I guess is the question I'm trying to ask. Because if the Bills left, I would be probably heartbroken. And since you're a fan of a team that did leave, at what point did you decide you were no longer going to root for the Rams, considering they still were the Rams, except in another city? I guess that's my question for you, because I've always wondered, like, if the Bills were to have left with the current roster they have now and they just picked up and left Buffalo, how long would I be a fan of them still? I never really know the answer to that. I think the answer to my question would be I'd be a fan of the Bills until, like, all the players that are on the team now left. I guess that would be my answer to that question. Colin says, I was just mad that they sucked and they got good. Yeah, that's true. That does suck. Wayne says, if the Bills ever left, I'd be furious. If the Bills ever somehow got sold to a different city, oh my God, I think there would be an assassination attempt on whoever the owner is of the Bills at the time. If it's the Pagulas and they decided to up and leave Buffalo, I honest to God think, because the Pagulas are already like not very liked here in Buffalo. Like, a majority of people in Buffalo are not fans of the Pagulas. Everybody likes their daughter, the tennis player, who's unbelievable, but the parents, nobody really likes Kim and Terry, unless you're just a Bills fan and not a Sabres fan. If you're a Sabres fan, you hate Terry and Kim Pegula, and that's myself. Not only would there be a riot, Colin, but I honest to God think a psycho here in Buffalo would probably attempt to assassinate the Pagulas if that ever happened, or whoever the owner is. Like, truthfully, that sounds ridiculous to say, but that's how nuts some people are for this football team, and that's good. But there's a boundary of good that you just got to stop at, and I feel like if there were 3 cities I had to say were that could get a little out of hand, it would be Philadelphia, Buffalo, and I don't know, Philadelphia and Buffalo. You get my point. Oh boy. The St. Louis Rams had cool colors. It was like, now the Rams logo and uniform suck. Yeah, the Rams look like they're like, I don't even know. It's just like this weird, like, I don't know. A riot, there would be a riot like you wouldn't believe. There would be a riot. There would be, I don't know. There would be a riot. Let's just leave it at that. Oh boy. All right. Well, it's getting about to be, we're creeping up on 12:30 here, just under 45 minutes. I'll probably wrap it up in about 10 minutes. If you guys have any last thoughts, any last opinions you want to throw out there, please let me know. I want to, get as much conversation in as we can. I'm still going to make a video tomorrow, even though I'm talking right now, just to get my thoughts out to those that were not able to hop in the live stream tonight. Also want to just check out and let people, hear my decompressed and my compromised thoughts, because, I've just been kind of speaking off the top of my head without any post-game analysis, really. I just, turned the TV off after the game ended, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good opportunity to go live, because why not? Why not? So I did it, And I had a lot of wonderful people like you guys yourselves here in the comments join me. And um, I've said it already, but I really wasn't sure how long I would keep this stream going, because I was like, if not many people join, I would be appreciative of, maybe if there was one person sitting in here talking with me, I would appreciate them more than, you'd ever believe. But it's late at night, I'm not sure how long I would have kept that going, but I've had constant flow of conversation from you guys in the chat. I've had a lot of people coming in and out, and I appreciate that tremendously. Like I said, I've said it many times, but you guys not only keep me going to make videos, but keep me going to do stuff like this. And if you guys want to see something more like this, I wanted to go live Sunday before the games this past week at like 10 a.m. or so, but I wasn't able to. If you guys would be interested in hopping in a live stream prior to the games on Sundays, that's something that I've been considering. I've been wanting to throw in a couple more live streams here and there just to spice things up. And I'm definitely going to be planning on doing that. So whether it's after Bills games, whether it's before games on Sunday, I'm definitely trying to incorporate some more live streams. So if that's something you guys would be interested in hopping into, I would appreciate some feedback. And if you guys would be interested, I'd be more than happy to. Oh boy. JT, that would be awesome. Thank you, bro. Almost at 800 subscribers. I'm pushing, man. I'm pushing. It's been a little bit tough. Life's getting hectic, but I'm pushing. I'm not going to stop. Not going to stop. Not on my damn watch. Brandon, oh yeah, I appreciate you guys. Everybody, you guys are awesome. You guys make my heart warm. Like, truthfully. Like, this is a genuine smile. And it's not like, thank you. I'm definitely going to, if I can, Sunday mornings, I'm definitely going to plan on going live. Expect probably something between 10 to noon, maybe, or maybe like an 11 to 12:30 kind of deal. Before Sundays, I would go through the games, talk about who I think is going to win and lose, give you forecast for the Bills games, just stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but that's definitely something I want to consider doing. Mott's applesauce, Golden Sparrow. You know the drill, brother. You know the drill. Haven't plugged Mott's all video. That's a crime. That's a crime. You're the best Bills YouTuber. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you. I'm just trying to be not even just a Bills YouTuber, just somebody that talks, more of I try to be, I obviously most of my content has been circulated around Buffalo Bills content, but I'm trying to be as universally bilingual, very bad play on words, but I'm trying to be a little bit more universal, trying to reach out to as many people as I can, trying to reach as many fan bases, and that's how I've found people like JT, who is who I believe is a primary Colts fan, and people like I believe, Raul and Boston Sports Report, both are Patriots fans. They somehow ended up on my channel, and I appreciate them. You guys, you Bills fans, I appreciate you guys. Colin Smith found me from a hockey video. Like, there are people in here that are not just Bills fans, and that's my ultimate goal is just to reach out to people, have conversation, opinionated conversation. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the X's and O's and everything and tell you this guy should have been here and he should have been like. I have my opinions. I like to think I'm sometimes able to form an opinion more balanced than I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm just blabbing. It's 12:30 at night. I'm literally blabbing. I'm tired. Whether we're 0-13 or 13-0, I'll still watch games and be a fan. Absolutely, Beast. I think we all can say the same thing about whatever sports team we are fans of, right? At the end of the day, we're all fans because we love the team, we love the sport. That's never going to change. Hey, all right, yeah, but that's probably about going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys hopping in. Thank you guys. I appreciate it a lot. I don't know what time it is for all of you guys out there, but get a good night's sleep. Whether you're a Bills fan or not, try and forget what just happened, because that was just absolutely horrendous. And I don't think anybody wants to remember that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to make a video tomorrow and talk about it and rehash all my feelings and opinions, but that's why I do what I do. Yes, Bill season's not over. Couldn't say it better. All right, guys. I'm going to peace out. You guys know the drill. Mott's applesauce. If you're ever hungry, thirsty, blah, blah, blah. I will talk to you guys in tomorrow's video. Hope to see you there. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night's sleep. Peace out. Wait. I can't close the camera. I gotta end the stream. I'll try to do it at the same time.